Hello, everybody. This is Chris Butler with Rusty Barn. We're very excited to welcome you to Wild Wednesday Live. This is presented, of course, by the Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival. We're very, very close to being able to do live in-person shows, but until then, we really need your support. Thank you so much for all the support you've given us. Our vendors count on it. That's how they're staying in business until we get back to events, and us too, frankly. We hope that you'll make our vendor mall your first stop in all your shopping needs and that you'll continue to tune in each week for the show. Thanks again, and we hope you enjoy this week's episode of Wild Wednesday Live, and we'll see you in the mall. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to this week's episode of Wild Wednesday Live, presented by the Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival. I'm going to be your host this week. I'm Raylene Salazar from Quilters Haven. And for those of you that celebrate, happy St. Patrick's Day. So as always, before we get started, we just want to go through a few of our reminders. First of all, the biggest reminder is that all four of today's vendors are going to be offering a special discount. They're going to be good through tomorrow night, Thursday night at midnight. And the fastest, easiest way to find all four vendors is if you go to the Quilt Craft Sew Mall, you're going to click on the link right below the Wild Wednesday logo, and that will take you directly to today's vendors and remind you of what their discounts are. Now, if you have questions of any of our vendors during the show, we ask that you hold those till the end. We are going to bring all of our vendors back at the end of the show for a question and answer. And if you type them in too soon, they might be scrolled up too far and we'll miss them. So we don't want to do that. So again, just hold any of your vendor-specific questions for the end of the show. And we also don't want you to forget, if you ever miss one of our live shows on Wednesdays at 2, you can always go to our YouTube channel. That's Quilt Craft Sew Mall. And you can subscribe while you're there too, so you never miss a thing. But that's where you're going to find all of our past episodes. Maybe sometimes you just want to go back and get a little review from one of our vendors. And we are going to continue on. Everybody's having a great time with the raffle prizes. But one thing I do want to say, and I know this sounds silly, Beth and I were laughing about this last week, but if you don't want to win, don't enter. We are having a hard time with getting our 5 winners to claim the prizes every week. And, we're all still really busy with our businesses, so we just don't have a lot of time to go tracking everybody down. So if you really just don't think you're interested in any of the prizes, that's okay. Just don't enter. That way the people that really want to win are able to give it a little bit better chance. So later in the show, though, I will be telling you what the secret word is for today, but I do want to let you know that the 5 great prizes we have today, All About Color Quilts is donating a beautiful bundle of fat quarters. Oliso is going to be not only demoing, but also donating one of their mini irons. Terri Toffee has a bag of goodies she's going to give away. And Fabric Chicks will be giving away a Moda Ruby Star Society panel. And Quilters Haven is going to be giving away some digital fabric panels. My tongue's all tied up today. And again, just listen later in the show for the secret prize. And lastly, before we get started, we always like to remind you that our show is streaming live over the internet. So if a vendor has a bad internet connection, maybe they have some weather happening or whatever, it is going to affect it. And if it's ever so bad that we don't feel like you can hear or see anything they're doing, we will stop them, have them try to reconnect. And if that doesn't work, we'll reschedule them for later because we want it to be a good experience for everyone. So with all of that said, we are going to get started with today's show. And first up, we are excited to welcome back Lori from All About Color Quilts. We had such a great response to the first time she was on the show that we asked her to come back and join us again. So hi, Lori.
Hello, Raylene.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Well, we're excited to have you back, and we're excited to turn it over to you so you can get to demoing. So take it away.
All right. Happy to. Welcome to All About Color Quilting in my little studio here. Today, I'm talking about a quilt that I've had for a number of years, but it continues to be a little Energizer bunny, and people still love making it. And I'm going to stand up and show you the original candy sticks from a few years ago, but it's timeless. It really is, and you can make it with whatever fabrics have come out. And it self-borders with the use of color, print, and value. So that is the smaller version. Today I'm looking at the larger version also. This is the throw size. I think it's 56 by 75. And then the queen size version is actually a very generous queen. And it is 94 by 94. And it too self borders with color value. And the pattern is in the back, still in red. The red version is also available both in the small size. This is the candy stick size. The candy stick size has both patterns in it and 42 different fabrics. The queen size has 52 different fabrics. So the kit's really the way to go with this particular project. Because of Wild Wednesday Live, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to run to the internet, to the internet and put the Wild Wednesday 10% off on either Candy Sticks or Candy Queen in either red or blue, which is a nice little value because I don't put my kits on sale. They're just too labor intensive. But today you get $14 off the small one and $16 off the large one. So good little deal for Wild Wednesday Live. But what I really want to show you today on Wild Wednesday Live is a little demo about putting this thing together. You make strip sets and you sort your fabrics. Actually, they come to you in the kit all sorted out for you, which is really nice. And you make a strip set like this. This is a second. Here's the first tier over here. The center ones are the lightest. Then the second tier is a little bit darker. And this is the strip set that I sewed together for the second tier. When I do that, I include some fabrics from both sides because if you look over here at this particular mush that I have going on the wall, I pulled out all the very light ones to make a center strip. And if you look at it, it's mush. So that really isn't the way to go when you make your strip set. Even though it says choose your light ones, you want to throw in something from another side, another color group. For example, I would throw in that. That's better, isn't it? And then maybe I would throw in another one from the second group over here instead of this one, or in addition to, I guess. And now I have a much more interesting strip set, and it still reads as light, as these two did. You can see in this one I used the very lights, but then I threw in some medium light also to give it some definition, and it still reads as light when you put them together. In the second group, I just put in more medium lights, and then I threw in one very light here and here and here and here. So all goes together. What you do then is cut this strip set into 3 14-inch squares. You sew 2 of them together down a diagonal middle on either side of a diagonal line, and you get a block. You actually get 2 blocks for every 2 squares, strip set squares you sew together. And you open it up, and voila, you have your block. You set them on point, and boom. Really pretty easy. Pretty easy if you are careful, because I like to sew my strip sets together one at a time. The first 2 that you put together, you don't have to pin. There on out, you have to pin the rest of them. So I sewed the first 2 together here. This is a medium strip set. Then I like to turn it over, and with my thumb and forefinger, I like to finger press it open. That's a hard thing for you to see, but my thumbnail is in the seam allowance, and my index finger is used as a pad back there. And I open up that seam with my thumb and forefinger, like so. And that means that when I go to press it, I don't get fold over and distortion. I get a nice, clean, open seam. Another thing that I do is I stitch with these strip sets with a 12 stitches per inch, because you are subcutting them right on that stitching line and right across that stitching line, and they will come apart. The seams will pull apart if you don't have a small enough seam. So now I've stitched these first two together. They are the same size. I did not pin. I know I feel a little naughty when I don't pin, but the second one goes on and you must pin. And when I say pin, I mean place your pins parallel. I know that's hard. Parallel to the edge. Can you see these two pins are parallel? Perpendicular would mean like you do for clothing sewing, but parallel to the edge looks like that. I could use bigger pins. Those are really hard to see on camera. And then I can leave those pins in there. I can blow right by them on the sewing machine. And when I'm done, when I've got it stitched, I just pull them out two at a time, back in the pin cushion, finger press it open, lay it down, and add my next one. Okay, so what have we learned so far? Finger stitch length, 12 to 15. That's a 2 on my German made machine, and probably your German Bernina. I don't know about the others. But 12 to 15 stitches per inch. Finger press it open. Once you get your strip set put together, like so, this is going to be a medium strip set. I actually iron them all open, and I love to iron. I like to iron them into a very flat, smooth, straight pancake. It's just kind of my thing. Well, for one thing, I get a really nice smooth quilt top when it's all done. And I have incredible accuracy because of it. So then I would cut these into 14-inch sections, sew them down a diagonal middle, so 2 different ones, and I would have my blocks. And in here, you have all 42 in this Candy Sticks, the smaller, and 52 fabrics in this one. You're going to cut it all into 2 and 2.5-inch strips. You're going to have some fun. 10% off on either Candy Sticks or Candy Queen, either red or blue, at allaboutcolorquilting.com. That's us. How do we do for time, Raylene?
That was perfect, and that was awesome. I've never seen you do that before. I can't believe how easy it looks. And of course, the viewers who know me know that I'm probably the worst sewer in all of the land. So when I see something like this, that I'm sitting here telling Ron the whole time, I could do that. I could do that. I get excited and I'm jumping up and down. It's a good thing you guys can't see me while the vendors are going, because I'm like a little kid in a candy store. We always laugh about the fact that we see each other at shows, but we're busy. So we never really get to see what everybody's doing. So that's been a really fun thing with Wild Wednesday. So just a reminder, guys, she has that sale that is gone through tomorrow night at midnight. And hopefully she'll be joining us back at the end of the show. If anybody has any questions, just hang on to them till the end and we'll get those answered live for you. So thank you, Lori. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Okay, that was so much fun. And next up, we have another returning vendor, because again, another vendor that I got a lot of emails saying, oh, I hope you have her on again. So we're going to welcome back Michelle from Oliso Irons. Are you there, Michelle?
I'm here. Can you see
There
me?
she is. Yes, we can see you, and we're so excited.
Hi.
We're so excited that you're back, and we're anxious to see what you've got. So I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Okay, and if at any time, I know I had 2 cameras going. If it's not working, after I do an introduction, we'll just do the face on and I'll go around and tilt it down.
All right.
Who knows why everybody has trouble, but anyways, nice to see you.
Okay,
Thank
no
you
problem.
for having me on.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Muska from Oliso. I am the Director of Content and Community Relations for Oliso. So it's so great to be here today with everybody to talk about my mini iron. Oh, there's my other, and we'll try to use that close up soon. So I just want to tell you a little bit about our minis, and I'm going to be talking mostly about using fusible today. And the reason I want to talk about fusibles is that the mini iron has a diamond coated ceramic plate. This is on and it's hot, so I won't be touching that. But this is the pink one, and this is the box that it will come in if you order one. We also have a 10% discount. It's WKLY, all capital, the number 10 with the percent sign. And that will give you 10% off the pink and the yellow mini. I have two new colors, but I'm kind of low on stock right now, so I didn't want anyone to be disappointed, but maybe next time we'll have enough. And we have orchid, which is really pretty. And probably my favorite at the moment is the turquoise. And that's probably because I'm working on a blue project. So it looks great on Instagram. And then this has a little trivet that you can see that hangs right up here. Here's the yellow or the butterscotch. And let's talk a little bit about the features and benefits of the mini. It has an 8-foot cord, which is really great for your craft room. It has a trivet, like I said, for storage and hanging. You turn that over and you set that flat down. This allows the iron to lift up from your workspace, and it allows air to flow underneath. It has, like I said, a diamond coated ceramic plate. And it's so easy cleanup with all of your fusibles. It has a detailer tip, which I'll show you how that works, just like a regular large iron for garments and so forth. It has steam burst capabilities. It has 3 settings. You can also flip this up and put a 1/4 cup of water in there for your steam burst. Here's your water window right here. And then also, this is a travel iron. It goes from 120 volt to 240. So if you're traveling, you can switch that back and forth. Right now, we have this really fun project coming up in our newsletter. So I would love to have you go and sign up for our newsletter, because when it comes out on Friday, it's going to have a great YouTube video attached to it and a PDF download that you can make this really adorable Yazzie bag with Wild Boho, Nicole. And I'll show you a little bit how I do that. And this fits the mini iron perfectly. Right like that. Okay. So I think that's most of the features and benefits. I just really love my mini. Of course, I have both irons. I have my large iron. And I have to say, I really pull my large iron out a lot less because I have a small space, and my mini iron gets as hot as my big iron. So it's really great. So anyways, I have, can you see my other, there we go. So here is the iron-ons right here. I put my hand inside that, or I can even use a small wool pad. I can fit that right inside. And I have some fusibles that I already pulled off. And I'm going to press and iron that right on. Just hold it for a few seconds. And that will allow this to stay in place when I get ready to embroider and put some beads on and so forth. You know what, Raylene, I don't really like how this is showing. So let me just discontinue this overhead camera, and I'll pull down my front on camera. Sorry, everybody, but I hope you don't mind. There we go. And we'll get rid of that one altogether. How's that? There. Okay. I think this will be a little bit better for everybody. Okay, so here's the mini Yazzie bag right here, and it fits right in, as I said. And if you sign up for our newsletter, you're going to get the newsletter with a link to the YouTube video. Gives you all the step outs for this cute bag. Nicole is a great teacher, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. One of the other things that I love to do with my mini iron is make circles. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the apple pop circles, but I was part of a blog hop and I made this linen table runner out of some Kaufman Essex. And one of the things that was really helpful for me was after I made my little circle here, I used the Roxanne glue basted, and I did the little dots like all the way around. And I turned it over and I pressed it temporarily in place with my mini iron. I don't have to worry about getting any of the glue basted on there because it's easy cleanup. Plus it's small enough to see everything. So I just feel like that's a really great help. And the mini, the apple plops are so much fun to work with. I've done a lot with them. One of the other things that I'd like to talk about is what the detailer tip does. So this is a shirt. It's actually a sample shirt that I've put a lot of different appliques on that I made myself. But I wanted to show you how the detailer tip works inside pockets. So here's a cute little kitty fabric applique that I made, and I wanted to be able to get right inside. So I can either lift that up and get in there, or the detailer tip fits right in there like that, which I think is really easy and super fun. And then on the back, I actually have a pleat. So the detailer tip works really great in that as well. And it works on collars and cuffs and pleats and little pockets and things. Great for kids' crafts and clothes as well. And it also works really great on little tiny, I think I showed you this last time. This is a 1.5 inch drunkard's path. And when you want to get in somewhere close and you want to really see what's going on, that's what the mini is really great for. I also did the same thing with the Roxanne's glue, basted it with my hexagon, my grandmother's flower garden. And one of the reasons why I really love my mini for this is that I feel like when I'm working with English paper piecing, my big iron covers the whole entire project. And this is something that I can get in really closely like this and see what I'm doing. So I just love English paper piecing, and I just think it's really super fun to have my mini iron close by and work on all of my projects. So here's a little project that I did for a class that I was creating kits for. It was an online class and I was sending kits. So I just took a very simple, inexpensive muslin bag from Amazon and I cut out a motif and I put the fusible web on the back. I always use Thermoweb's Heat and Bond. If I want to embroider on the fabric applique, what I do is I add, I use the light. If I want to really have it on there forever and I'm not going to maybe use any embroidery or stitching over it, I will use the extra hold. So here is a piece that I already did. I put the fusible webbing onto the back. And here's the piece. I fussy cut this out. And I think I'll just kind of figure out, overlay it like this on the side and press. Just be careful when you're using fusibles. If you iron back and forth and gets really hot, your little piece might slip and you'll get some fusible oozing out onto the nice part of your bag. And then the great part is, when you're using appliques and fusibles, we all know that you want to iron on both sides if possible. Look at this. The mini fits right in there like that. It's super cute and easy. And there you have it. And you can just keep building on this on top of each other. This could actually be a little fun activity at a birthday party. And we'll be having birthday parties this summer. I am sure of it. So I hope that that's the case for everybody. I also did a larger motif. This is one that I really love. This is by Anna Maria Horner, and I put on the fusible web on the outside, the back side, and I cut the piece out. And here it is on a little pillow that I did. It's just so pretty. So again, it's a pillow that I made. It's linen. It's just going to be sewn up. It's pillow, like a pillowcase style in a way. Okay. And then, as I said before, it's really great to get that iron right on the inside of the pillow so you can get the back side of the applique. And then I will definitely put some pretty embroidery around that beautiful motif. I also worked on a joint project with thermal web and clover and spinrite and Aurifil, and we did this really fun 100% wool garland for the winter. This is Natural Nonwovens 100% wool felt, which I love to work with. My kitty was in here earlier and she was moving everything around. She steals things on me. So what I did is I ironed the thermal web right on to the back or either side of the felt because there's no right or wrong side. And then I cut out some pieces here. I actually used pinking shears on this to give it a little extra something. And I can iron that right onto the back. We'll actually press right onto the back of that. And then I can cut around that larger if I want. And then what I would do with this one, I would actually sew or do some decorative stitching like I did on here. And basically everything is really simple. It might look fancy, but it's really just the satin stitch or French knot. And then I won't worry about the back. I'll just put that right on the top. And that would cover all my knots and everything in the back. And then I would cut them all out. And then I added some little bells and yarn and all kinds of fun stuff, pom-poms and tassels. And I actually filmed it outside. So you can actually see how to make that on our Instagram feed. So I hope you'll follow us at Oliso Home on Instagram because I did a 3-part series on its IGTV. You can see it right there. We also have a lot of sponsor a lot of challenges with our designers and so forth. So I think that you would really enjoy that. And you'll also, if you sign up for our newsletter, you will get all of that information right in our newsletter. So this is the class that I took with Carolina Oniata last week. And this was really, really fun. And basically, it's a reverse applique. And since you're working in such a small area, I really found that the mini iron was really helpful. So I think in your everyday projects, I sometimes keep it right next to my sewing machine, but I often keep it at my work table because I still feel it's important to try to get up and down as much as possible. So I also make fusible flowers. So I'll show you one of the ones that I've been working on. And this is all done with fusibles, maybe a little bit of wire. And I also did this garland. And one of the things that I showed you last time was how to make bias tape, which is really easy with a bias tape maker from Clover and the mini iron. But I often, when I am making my flowers, I will rip the linen, the silk, and it gets all curly and everything. And I find that this is one of the things that really is helpful in my sewing studio is that I got a nice pointed tip and it's really nice and hot and it gets that really laid out flat. So I really wasn't keeping too close to the time, but I'm sure it's probably finished. And I'll scoot down here to see you. So thank you so much for having me. Am I okay for time? I don't want to go over
You're
someone else's
fine.
time.
No, you were fine. That was perfect. And oh, what fun. I can imagine all kinds of fun little projects that we can do
Oh
using
yeah,
that mini
I
iron.
know I just kind of briefly showed what you can do, but I think that, especially if you're working with fusibles and if you're working with teens or little kids and you want to work with fusible, remember this iron is super hot. There's no auto shut off. So be careful when you're working with kids. But if you're making stuff for kids, it's so fun to do some quick projects, with fusibles on t-shirts and totes and bags and things like that. And then you can really get creative and you can start making some wild and crazy fun things if you're a crafter. And I think probably most of us quilters are, some of us knit, some of us crochet, and some of us craft. So don't forget our 10% discount on the pink and yellow mini, all in caps, WKLY 10, the number 1010 with the percent sign. So I was a little discombobulated with changing my camera, so hope I
No, it worked
crazy.
out great. We could see everything you were doing really well. It worked out
good.
just
I'm
great.
glad.
So
Okay.
hopefully we can have you stick around till the end
I
of the
will.
show in case anybody has questions. And
I sure
guys,
will.
be sure you take advantage of that great special, because what a
I
great
hope
time
you
to get
will,
one of those
yes.
mini irons. Yeah. So, okay.
And
Well, thank you so
visit
much.
us on social media, Oliso Home on Instagram. I'm always there.
Awesome.
Bye.
Okay, so we'll have her back at the end of the show. So if you have any questions, again, if you have questions for any of our vendors throughout their demonstrations, just hold those till the end of the show. We will be bringing everybody back for a question and answer. So, okay, I know you guys are sitting there anxiously awaiting for today's drawing. So as a reminder, in just a second, I'm going to tell you today's secret word. All you need to do is type that word in the comments. Please only type it in one time per person so that we don't have to spend time sorting all those out. And then after the show, I will be putting everybody's name in a hat and we'll be drawing out those 5 winners. So today's secret word is Irish. Quick and easy one today. Today's word is Irish. Again, just type that in the comments if you want to be included in the drawing. If you are a winner, I will be making a post on Facebook right here on the Quilt Craft Sew Facebook page. Usually within about an hour of the show ending, I will post the winners along with the email address that you need to send your name and address to so that we can get you your prize. You will have until midnight Friday night to claim it, but go ahead and jump back on and check later in a couple of hours. So that way we don't have some unclaimed prizes again this week. We really want to give these things out. Okay, well, the next vendor joining us today, I am so super excited about, because not only is she one of my very, very dear friends, but she is my biggest guilty pleasure, and her booth is a curse to me, okay? Because her stuff is so amazing. And I know a lot of you guys are going to recognize her and be excited to see her. So right now we want to welcome Terri from Terri Sue's Toffee to the show. Hi, Terri.
Hi, guys. It's so good to see everyone. I've missed you all.
Well, we've missed you. My waistline hasn't missed you, but I've missed you. So
just as big or bigger.
yeah, well, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can kind of show them what you've been working on lately.
Okay, this is our first partnership with Joey. A lot of you will remember Kit. He was helping in my booth many years ago. Little Joey, he's 6 foot now, and he's my cameraman. So this is our first time doing this. I started Terri Sue's Toffee after many years of just making my basic milk chocolate walnut toffee with my Aunt Sue for the holidays. And then I had lots of people that would request my candy from time to time. And I used to sell jewelry. I used to do Cookie Lee jewelry. A lot of you remember that party company. And I started bringing my candy with me to my jewelry shows, and more candy sold than jewelry. So I thought, okay, I'll start doing Terri Sue's Toffee. So now, previous to COVID, my husband and I typically travel around like the rest of you, doing festivals and shows. And we like to hand out samples and tell everybody about all of our products, because we've morphed from my basic, this was my original, my Terri Sue's Toffee with milk chocolate walnut. So if you come and see me at a festival, you'll see that as labeled as traditional because that's traditional to me. Anyway, now we also make our Toffies. I live up in Chico, California, so big agricultural area. And so I'm able to get the fresh nuts directly from the local growers, and I think that makes a big difference. So we not only use the roasted walnuts, we also top our toffee with almonds, or up in Chico we say almond. And we do that on milk chocolate or dark chocolate. And we also do a salted pistachio toffee. So when I started doing so many shows, we have always saved our crumbs for when we chop up our candy, we get lots of crumbs, and I've always saved those and put them in my baking at home. So we were coming up with so many of them because we were actually selling toffee regularly. My husband and I developed a recipe for cookies using our extra toffee crumbs. So my chocolate chip cookies have my regular toffee crumbs mixed in and then a piece of toffee on top. And at the shows, a lot of you ladies like to take these and go to Raylene's classes and have something to snack on. I also have my peanut butter with the caramel melted on top, and my pistachio toffee crumbs go into my sugar cookie. Then I just have the traditional oatmeal raisin because that's my husband's favorite. Anyway, a lot of you will recognize those. A lot of you also, I tried to pick out the things that were most popular at my quilting shows, and a lot of you ladies like to snack while you're doing your crafts. So in addition to the cookies and the toffee, you love my caramels. And we worked for 2 years to come up with the way we wanted to do our caramel, and then we just keep adding different flavors. So some of my quilt show favorites are the black licorice caramel. Black licorice is one of those things that you either love or you hate. I don't care for it. My husband loves it. And I know a lot of you ladies are the same. We have our marshmallow caramel and our salted caramel. But in addition to these popular ones that are a little different, we have the traditional vanilla caramel. I have caramel with nuts in it. We use pecans, pistachios, and macadamias. I do some flavored ones. The ones I put in my bag today are my Irish coffee, and this is a longtime favorite of mine. But you like to snack on my caramel squares. We also do caramel apples. So we make our caramel from scratch, and once our caramel is cooked and ready, and we are dipping our apples, we either do them just plain with chocolate or chocolate with toffee on the outside. I have one of those right here. Oh no, this is a pecan turtle one. Those are really good. They're all good. This is one of my toffee ones. So we dip our apples. I use both Granny Smith and the sweeter Fuji apple because different people like different apples. But this apple is dipped in our caramel. And then this particular one is dipped in our dark chocolate, rolled in my toffee crumbs, and then drizzled and decorated for Easter or spring. But you can check out our website. It is www.tstoffee.com. And I've got lots of different apple sort of choices out there. You can build your own apple as far as what kind of chocolate or drizzle or topping you want. We also do our marshmallow pops, kind of like the apple. I do them with or without caramel. These are just dipped in chocolate. I use white chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate, and we use a high quality chocolate. It's not the melties that you can just melt in the microwave. What else? I was going to share, I have lots of Easter baskets today. This is an Easter basket that I just put together very quickly with a couple caramel apples, a bag of our toffee. We like to have cute little bags that are seasonal, so you can use them for for whatever your occasion is. I put a couple caramel or marshmallow pops, a cookie, and one of our fudges. And we make fudge. It's a smooth, creamy fudge. And we have just a traditional chocolate fudge, chocolate with pecans, Rocky Road, chocolate peanut butter, a white chocolate cookies and cream, and a dark chocolate walnut. And when we're doing shows, we also do a panucci fudge, which a lot of people ask for. It's like a brown sugar fudge. It's not a chocolate fudge. But anyway, we have lots of different choices in our fudges. I have the colorful bags of toffee. I can do boxes, and the caramel squares, the marshmallows, apples, and I have a new product. We have started making chocolate turtles for our candy stores, our wholesale accounts. So I don't yet have these on our website, but they will be coming very soon. I'm finalizing packaging and pricing, but right now I think this is going to retail for around $6. Everything's going up, as you all know. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to mention. Oh, I know. We have, I have an example here. I have a wedding that we made marshmallows for a wedding that's coming up this weekend. We do weddings, and I have a lot of people that will use these as favors to hand out as people are coming or going, or sometimes they want to put them as a place setting, or just have trays of toffee or caramel or whatever your favorite things are. But that's something that people don't always think of when they come to my booth, that we love to do weddings. And I always try and do a personalized label with the wedding date and the bride and groom's name or whatever you'd like to see. Anything else?
Thank you so much.
I think that's about it. I hope I used up my time almost.
You did a great job, and I have to share you with our audience. You know, as I said, I love your stuff, and one of the things when we see Terri at a show, we have always bought each of us a cookie for in the room at night for a nighttime snack. So Terri, when you held up the cookies, Ron's sitting next to me and all he said was, "Oh, cookie," except for when you held up your new turtles and he started yelling, "Shut your mouth." So he's anxious for the new turtles. But yeah, I was trying to decide what my favorite thing is, and I realized I can't because, as you know, I love those sea salt caramels. I love your fudge. I love peanut brittle. I love the toffee. So, yeah, it's probably a good thing we haven't seen each other for a while, or I'd be like 9,000 pounds because your stuff is so amazing. And also, I just want to share with the viewers, because I have done this a few times. You know, I've needed a last-minute anniversary gift or birthday gift, and she's always just shipped it out right away in a beautiful package. And the gifts are always so well received. So you guys don't delay. Get on this thing and order you a goodie. You deserve it. All of you. You know, I'm not sure if they're all aware, but one more thing before I let Terri talk. Food does not have calories on Wednesday, just in case you didn't know that.
This, I hope you all can see, this is my coupon code for our Wild Wednesday Live. Sweet Deal is what it's supposed to stand for, all caps, but it's SWT and then the word deal as one word. We'll give you 20% off my entire website until tomorrow night at midnight. So I hope that you can use this. I do want to tell you, we do ship year round across the country. I watch the weather. Sometimes I have to add an ice pack. Or hold something for a couple days because it's going to be 100 degrees here and I don't want to ship it in the heat. But always when you place an order on my website, I do have a message box that you can add any special requests for. I have lots and lots of different ribbon. I have different color sprinkles. So anything specific you'd like to ask for, or if you need your item for a specific date, that's really helpful. Also, if you're sending a gift to anyone, add a little message I can include. I'll write a handwritten note and include that too, so they know that you're thinking of them, or happy birthday, or get well, or whatever. So use that message box to give me any special requests or a favorite color, or especially a certain date, because especially right now, we are making candy pretty regularly for our wholesale accounts. I'm getting online orders. We pretty much try and make things to order. So for instance, if you order caramel apples, I keep a very small amount of very basic things on hand, but I like to make them fresh for you. So give me a little time to be able to get that done, a day or two, and then I'll ship them out.
That sounds awesome. We hope you'll hang around for the end of the show. So if we have any questions for you, and I really appreciate you being on the show today, Terri.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, guys. Before we get to our last vendor today, this is your last reminder of our special word for the contest today. If you've already typed it in, you don't need to do it again. But if you haven't entered yet, just simply type the word Irish in the comments, and that will get you in today's door prize drawing. So last but certainly not least, I want to welcome back my co-host, Beth, who is going to actually demonstrate today. So hi, Beth.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing good.
It's kind of awkward being on this side of the camera. So.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But we're anxious to see what you have to share with us. So go right on ahead. Jump in.
Perfect. So today we're going to just be talking about panels. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about bedazzling panels, because who doesn't love to bedazzle things? So first off, back in the day, I was so against panels because one, there was like no creativity to it. You were just taking somebody else's artwork and putting it in the middle of your quilt and, same old, same old. But panels are probably our number one seller in the shop. So we've gotten really creative on different things that you can do with them. You can set them into quilts. You can bedazzle them. You can cut them up and use them just as regular fabric, as yardage. There's so many, it's endless. So we have probably about 150 panels in our store. So we're going to do a little bit of a tour. Hopefully we don't run out of our battery because we were not prepared. But so I'm going to give you a couple of books that are really good. If you don't have these books on your in your stash, you might want these. Panel Play and Learn to Quilt with Panels are two of the best books on panels because it helps you figure out the math. Every panel you get is a little bit different. And sometimes you want to put a lot of detail quilting, piecing into your panels. Sometimes you don't. So these just give you ideas of where to start, and then your imagination can take you anywhere. So we're going to do kind of a little tour of different things that we've done with panels. Traditional, here is a bee panel that we have. We have probably, I think, 3 different bee panels at the moment. So this is a bee panel, and we have cut this up. Although this would make great placemats, it would make, you could do anything with them. But this is the quilt that we have turned it into. So I don't know if Devin can see that. Oh, I'm tearing the shop apart. So that gives you a good idea of what to do with panels. There's cute little bees pieced into here. I actually just pulled this off the long arm, so I haven't trimmed my threads yet. But we do have that as just a panel. Pretty much the things that we show you, we have as panels, or you can get it as a kit right from Moda. And all of this that we're showing you is on our website. And there is, I think this week we got prepared enough and we did the coupon code. This is by far our most popular panel because who isn't a grandparent with special rules? So grandparents' house rules. Every grandparent's house needs one of these quilts. And I will just tell you, sidebar, buy Terri Sue's Toffies. I stock up like bags full. I bring bags full home when I come home from a show. I wish, Raylene, we could just do one cookie in the evening, but it's more like 1 dozen. But so our waistline is probably pretty thankful too. This is a class that I'm going to be teaching at the Reno Sew Quilt Craft Festival. So this is a panel. This is what it looks like before it's bedazzled. And this is what it looks like after. So we take a lot of the silks and we put the embellishments on. We've got some tulle, some Swarovski crystals, some yarns, random things, and we just stitch them on random with thread painting. I know thread painting seems kind of overwhelming if you've never tried it, but it's actually so freeing and so easy. Like really, it's easy, girls. Don't be scared. If you can scribble, you can do this. So that's a panel that we bedazzled. This here is a panel. This is a really good one project if you just want to kind of try your hand at taking panels, cutting them apart, and creating your own artwork. So here is, we don't have that panel left, but we do have this new poppy panel. So we have this new poppy panel that you can cut apart and then just fuse it. I use Steam-A-Seam 2 Light. Just cut these pieces apart, fuse them onto your background, and create your own art. The artwork is already done for you if you're afraid of that maybe you're not creative or maybe you're not an artist. The artwork's already been done for you in the fabric. So you're just cutting it apart, cut, paste, you know, kind of like paint by number. This was a fun one that we did. This here is on a canvas, but it was using this panel up here. So we just cut this panel up here apart. I know it's kind of a shame. The panel's so beautiful. Stephanie Brandenburg from Fron Designs, greatest painter I know. But then these also are just panels that we've bedazzled with the silks. So Devin's going to kind of span around. You can see our whole entire shop is lined with panels. And then real quick, Devin, before we go, I'm trying to give you guys ideas of different things you can do with panels. Let's see. Okay. All right, you got it, Devin?
Yeah.
He's a good photographer. Everybody needs a 17-year-old in their life. So we're going to take you real quick to the 7-panel wonder. I call it the 7-panel wonder class. Okay, so you can pick your favorite panel. You're going to keep one of them whole. So keep one panel whole, put it aside so you don't accidentally cut it up. Then you're going to take 6 other panels and you're going to line them up, stack them up perfectly on top of each other. And then when you cut them into your, I think it's 3 3/4 inch strips by the width of the fabric. And then when you sew them back together in the hexagon shapes, which it's actually super simple because you're just piecing. All you're doing is you're piecing rows. So like this row gets stitched together and then this row. So you don't have any Y seams. Super simple. So this was a panel we kept whole. And then this here is 6, the entire rest of the quilt is 6 panels that we cut up and sewed back together. So this is a super fun way to really kind of spotlight one of your favorite panels. Okay, now we're going to take you in and just do a quick demo on bedazzling. I know. You should always be in front of me, Devin, so you don't have to record the back side of me. Here's another fun panel. This was the Peacemakers, I want to say 1994 calendar quilts that had all the patterns for applique. Well, obviously they got smart and realized that we were never going to do all that applique. I mean, it was so much silk ribbon, embroidery. So they did a cheater panel. And then what I've done is I've cut it up and then embellished it. So here, there's a billion little French knots. On the crazy quilting, I used all the different weights, threads that I could find in my stash. This is an 8 weight, so I couched it down. And then I used all of the decorative stitches that I have on my machine. So it was really kind of a good, like right here, this is a 12 weight wool. So it was a great way to experiment with my threads, to learn what they can do and what my machine can do. Okay, real quick, over here, we have a bedazzled sunflower. So this is what the panel starts out as. That's what it starts out as. And then we're going to create this effect. So we're going to just add silk. So this was a panel, and then I embellished it with wash away and fabric magic to create the shrinkage. And fabric magic will shrink your fabric about 30%. So I just added tulle, silks, yarns, all kinds of random stuff. The more random, the better. Like avocado, the green thing that your avocados come in, I say that. So this is what the panel starts as. And then here, I'm just randomly. So don't overthink anything, ever. Don't ever overthink anything. I've got some ribbon here. It's kind of like, I think it's the ribbon that you tie for bows at Christmas. And then I've got some glitter tulle because you can never have too much glitter. And then I've just got sari silk strips. So I'm just going to cut them into random sizes, like literally, because I kind of work, at a fast pace. I don't have time. I have to get samples done constantly. So I don't have time to overthink it. So I'm just going to kind of cut here, and then I'm going to just kind of lay them out here. So I've got, and I don't really care if I've got two oranges next to each other. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut them and I'm going to lay them down. So I've got the two layers of the tulle underneath, and then I've got the silks on top, and then I pinned the heck out of it. So then when I go to stitch it, it'll look like this. See that sunflower up close? And I don't care if the silks are longer or shorter, because I don't want to completely cover up the panel artwork. I just want to add my own twist to it. So basically, that is kind of my quick little tutorial on how to bedazzle a panel and what to do with your panels, because we're all collecting panels. We're all, if you go into your studio or your sewing room, you've got a pile of panels you don't know what to do with. So we do have a class April 19th that it's via Zoom, and you can bring any panel that you've kind of been hoarding and holding on to that you want to figure out something fabulous to do with it. All right, Raylene, that's all I've got.
Well, that was a lot. I mean, you really gave us some great ideas. I mean, you and I have talked about this before. A lot of the shows, we are right across the aisle from each other, and we never get to see what each other are doing because we're so busy.
Right.
And but you always have some of the best panels. I know I've bought a lot of kitties from you over the years. And yeah, you're right. I haven't done anything with them, but hey, when I'm ready, I've got them.
Right. Gotta keep what you can.
Okay, well, we're going to have you stick around. We'll be doing question and answer here in just a second. So I just want to remind everybody really quick, as Ron is bringing everybody back on screen, that all four of today's vendors can be found so quickly and easily by just going to the quiltcraftsewmall.com and look for the Wild Wednesday logo. You'll find a link right under that. When you click on that link, that will take you to today's vendors. And remember, they all have their specials, but they're only good till tomorrow night, Thursday at midnight. So if you see something you can't live without, don't wait. And, especially if it's something like with Terri Sue, where they don't normally offer such a great discount because they do make all their products to order. I know that iron discount is amazing. And the kits from All About Color, I mean, everybody had amazing discounts today. So take advantage of those. But if you decide to wait till later, you'll still be able to find them easy on the Quilt Craft Sew Mall. And when you're done shopping with those four vendors, be sure that you go strolling through the rest of the mall. And also, don't forget about our weekly specials, because on the mall every week, 9 to 12 vendors are going to offer a great deal on usually a single item. So just click on weekly specials and you'll see all of those. And again, there's been some great deals. I'm afraid I've spent a lot more money than I can afford to be spending with no shows going on, but you just don't want to pass up those bargains. So looks like we've got everybody back on screen. So I'm going to see if I can find some of those. Some people put in a few earlier questions, but I do also want to say we now officially have a lot of shows scheduled, and I'm doing a happy dance in my head. And if you go to the Quilt Craft Sewing Festival website, you will be able to see where all we're going to be for the rest of the year. And it looks like the guys are going to manage to get several shows in for us. So be sure you check it out and see if we're going to be close to you so you can see us all in person. So, okay, our first question from Judy says, I love that sunflower. Are the petals strips machine stitched on? For Beth.
The petals are just pieces of silk sari, and then I'll just thread pink stitch right on top of them. So I'll just kind of scribble stitch on top of them.
And Beth, is there a code for you for your special? Is it WW20?
It is. I don't want to confuse anybody. I got to keep it simple. I'm a blonde. WW20.
Yeah. Hey, me and you both. I'm not blonde, but I got to keep it simple. Let's see. Ron's looking for some more questions here. Oh, Terri Sue, what does a variety Easter basket cost for a boy and a girl?
Oh my goodness. You know, there are so many options. What I ask is give me an idea of what you want to spend and I'll put it together.
That sounds perfect. And let's see. Oh, question for Michelle from Linda. The shirt that you are wearing, did you embellish it?
No, but I got it at Quilt Festival in Houston.
Well, because she's saying, I wish I could see more of that. So
it's actually, I probably wore it last time. I had something else on earlier when I did my check-in, but it got really hot in my studio and I was like, I have to go change. So my granddaughter loves it. She always pokes at all the
it's
flowers.
Really pretty. Yeah. Another question for Terri Sue. Do you do sugar-free?
I don't. I'm
okay.
sorry.
And the other question was gluten-free.
Yes.
I know you've done gluten-free stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost all of my candy is naturally gluten-free. My toffee is simply butter, sugar, chocolate, and nuts. So there's no gluten in any of my toffee. There is gluten in my cookies, but my apples, my caramels, my toffee, and my fudge are all gluten-free.
Perfect. Michelle, can you remind us again what your deal is on the mini iron?
The mini iron, the deal is a 10% off on the pink and the yellow. It's all caps. I should have done what you other ladies did, but it's not too long. I should have written it out, but it's on your site too. All capitals, WLKY 10%. So it's 10% off on the mini pink and yellow, and there's free shipping in the continental US as well. I forgot to mention that. So,
and now we have a question for Lori. Lori, the question is, what is the length of the strips?
Oh, they're selvage to selvage, 42 inches to start with.
And can you just remind us again the special you have on those two kits?
10% off any of the candy sticks or candy queens. WW10.
Awesome. And we're just doing another quick scroll. I think that's all the questions we have today. Anybody else, if you want to type one in real quick before we sign off, we'll get to it as quick as possible. Now, and again, guys, if you think of something afterwards, just go ahead and type them in there because the vendors are going to take a little peruse through the comments and make sure that everybody's questions got answered. So it looks like that's all the questions that we have today. So again, we want to thank all 4 of our vendors for joining us on the show today. And we appreciate all of you guys that are watching live. We had a really good crowd today, and that's always exciting for all of us. Again, we are looking at our first Quilt Craft Sewing Festival show being towards the end of May in Boise. followed by Oklahoma City. So check the Quilt Craft Sew Facebook page, and also you can check their website to get the exact dates and locations. They've had to make a few location changes this year just due to the circumstances, but it sounds like most of those are going to be a really, really good change for us. But we're going to be heading back to all y'all's locations soon. And again, for those of you who aren't anywhere that you can easily get to one of our shows, we are going to, at this point, it is our desire and our plan to keep running Wild Wednesday Live. It may be in a little bit different format as the shows kick in, but we do want to stay in touch with all of our new friends that we've met here on the show. So again, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys all back here next week at 2 Pacific time for Wild Wednesday Live. So go out and make it a creative week. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye.